Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. In today's video we will be discussing about a topic of class 12's aldehyde, ketone and carboxylic acid chapter, that is chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Since aldehydes and ketones are of the same type of carbonyl group, most of these reactions are quite similar except for 2 or 3 reactions which we use for analysis of difference between aldehydes and ketones, and all the rest of the reactions are quite similar. And further, when you compare the carbonyl compound or the carbonyl group present in the aldehyde and ketone, which is undergoing sp2 hybridization carbon, which is similar to alkene carbon, what we clearly say is alkene usually undergo electrophilic substitution reaction, right? But in case of carbonyl group, we observe the CO compound, CO group undergoing nucleophilic substitution reaction. That is because in the previous topic we discussed about, in the previous first video of nomenclature and structure, we discussed about the bonds of carbon and oxygen in the carbonyl group. So this is sp2 hybridized carbon. This is an sp2 hybridized carbon which is planar in geometry. So if we consider this as the plane of the molecule, carbon, oxygen and the 2 alkyl groups present all will be in the same plane. And further, there is a complete dipole moment involved in this particular carbon and oxygen bond. There is a complete dipole moment involved in the carbon and oxygen bond, which explains that carbon being electronegative is a nucleophilic center. Carbon being an electronegative acts as a nucleophilic center, whereas oxygen being an electronegative acts as a nucleophilic center, where carbon acts as an electrophilic center. Therefore, whenever you treat this particular carbonyl groups with certain nucleophile, they undergo nucleophilic substitution at the carbonyl carbon. Since it is an electrophilic center, nucleophile will be attacking the carbon. Therefore, this particular reaction involves change in shape, where when the nucleophile attacks the carbon, which is the sp2 hybridized carbon, it will change its hybridization to sp3, forming a tetrahedral alkoxide complex, which later takes up a proton from the reaction medium and forms respective neutral compound. Now, if we have to understand this particular reaction, let us consider carbon double bonded O and a carbonyl group, and now I am treating a nucleophile Nu- in the presence of a base or acidic medium. This nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon in such a way perpendicular to the plane of the carbonyl group. Since the carbonyl group is in planar structure, nucleophile can attack either from the top of the plane or from the bottom of the plane. Doesn't matter, both will be the same reaction. So what happens here is, when the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon, the bond between oxygen and carbon breaks down to form a negative charge on the oxygen, leading to the tetrahedral alkoxide compound Nu-, wedge bond and a dash bond with O-. So nucleophile is now being attached to carbon, releasing a negative charge on the oxygen. This O- attacks the proton or captures the proton present in the reaction medium to form a neutral compound, where we observe that hydrogen and a nucleophile being added to the carbon-oxygen double bond. Okay, so this is the mechanism of nucleophilic attack on the carbonyl carbon groups. Now we have certain examples for this particular reaction, that is treating this carbonyl aldehyde or ketone, since both of these aldehydes and ketones are same. So there are certain criteria where this reactivity changes. Even though aldehydes and ketones have same carbonyl group, but the reactivity alters with respect to the steric and electronic factors. That is, if we consider for the steric hindrance, what happens is, in case of aldehydes, We clearly know aldehyde only carries one alkyl group on the carbonyl carbon. If we consider for the aldehydes which carries only one alkyl group, and if we in case of ketone which carries two alkyl groups, there will be steric hindrance arised in case of keto groups. Therefore, because of the bulky alkyl groups present on the carbonyl carbon of ketones, the attack of nucleophile will be slightly hindered. That means the bulky alkyl groups will oppose the attack of nucleophile. Whereas in case of aldehyde, since it just has only one alkyl group, the attack of nucleophile is quite easier when compared to the attack of nucleophile on ketones carbonyl carbon. Therefore, aldehydes are more reactive towards the nucleophilic reaction when compared to keto group. This is in case of steric factor. Next, in case of the electronic factor, that is we know that electronic effect, mesomeric effect and inductometric effect. So what in case of electromeric effect is, because of the presence of more alkyl groups on the carbonyl carbon of ketone, we know that alkyl groups decreases the electrophilicity of carbon. Alkyl groups decreases the electrophilicity of carbon. Therefore, more the number of alkyl groups attached to the carbon, less will be its electrophilicity. If the carbon is less and less electrophile, then the attack of nucleophile will be reduced. Therefore, according to the steric and the electromeric effects, we can clearly say that aldehydes are more reactive towards the nucleophilic substitution when compared to ketones. Okay, so this is about the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones which involves nucleophilic attack. Now let us discuss certain examples which involves this nucleophilic attack on the carbonyl carbon in case of aldehydes and ketones. First one, when you had hydrogen cyanide to carbonyl groups. So what we are going to do over here is, instead of considering aldehyde and ketone separately, we will just take certain general reactions where it might be RH or RR in case of aldehyde and ketone respectively. Now for the first one, addition of hydrogen cyanide or addition of CN group. When you treat aldehydes or ketones, that is the carbonyl group, when you treat carbonyl groups with hydrogen cyanide, it forms an intermediate cyanohydrin compound. This particular reaction of addition of hydrogen cyanide to alcohol carbonyl group is a very slow process. Therefore, first we have to treat this hydrogen cyanide with a strong base in order to get a strong nucleophile. When you treat HCN with a base, it pulls away the hydrogen present on the CN, causing formation of CN minus nucleophile. CN minus nucleophile. Now, this CN minus nucleophile, which is a strong nucleophile, attacks the carbonyl carbon. Attacks the carbonyl carbon in this direction to form an intermediate cyanohydrin complex. O minus CN of this kind, and then this O minus uses up the hydrogen or proton present in the reaction medium to form cyanohydrin. This particular compound is called cyanohydrin. So this is a simple nucleophilic reaction. What happens over here is, since when you treat hydrogen cyanide with a nucleophile, the reaction is being very slow. We first treat the hydrogen cyanide with a base, forming a strong nucleophile Cn minus. The strong nucleophile Cn minus attacks the carbonyl carbon, leading to a formation of intermediate with oxygen on negative charge. This oxygen attracts the proton from the reaction medium to form cyanohydrin. Okay, so this is the addition of hydrogen cyanide, the addition of nucleophile Cn minus. Next, for the addition of sodium bisulfate nucleophile. When you treat sodium bisulfate with alkyl ketones, aldehydes or ketones, addition of NaHSO3. When you treat sodium bisulfate with sodium bisulfite with our carbonyl groups C double bond O with NaHSO3, what happens here is O minus will be formed because of the attack of nucleophile SO3H on the carbon atom. What happens here is the base removes the sodium atom because it is more electropositive when compared to the others. Therefore, it leads to the formation of an intermediate of the type OSO2H and O minus. Okay, this will be the intermediate formed at first, which on O minus and Na plus in the reaction. Later, on proton interchanging, on proton intertransmission, what happens is this reaction will be formed, product will be formed as OSO2Na and OH. So this is the sodium bisulfide compound of aldehyde or ketone, hydroxy sodium bisulfide compounds. So the reaction is, when you treat sodium bisulfide with carbonyl groups, Na takes up the nuclear negative charge of O minus and SO2 will be forming with the bond of carbon, which on like interchange of proton interchange. So the reaction, it might be in the forward or backward direction. Reaction might be moving forward or backward. It depends completely upon the reaction on this side. If it is faster, then this reaction will be moving towards the forward direction. Okay. So now H plus present here will be interchanged with the sodium ion present. So it will be forming our hydroxy sodium bisulfide compounds. So this is the addition of sodium bisulfide on aldehydes or ketones. Next is addition of Grignard reagent. When you treat the carbonyl groups with Grignard reagent, we prepare alcohols. When you treat aldehydes or ketones with Grignard reagent, addition of Grignard reagent, which we have discussed earlier in the alcohols chapter, which can be used for the preparation of all alcohols. When you treat carbonyl groups with Grignard reagent like RMgX, it forms a complex such as like this, RCO minus Mgx with R, which on hydrolysis forms OH, R and MgOHX. So when you treat carbonyl compounds with Grignard reagent, that is when you treat aldehydes and ketones with Grignard reagent, it forms a Grignard intermediate of this kind, which on hydrolysis results in the formation of alcohol of a higher order. So if you are considering for this molecule, it will be, if you are treating ketone, you will be preparing tertiary alcohol. If you are treating aldehyde, you will be obtaining secondary alcohol. If you are treating formaldehyde, you will be obtaining primary alcohol. Okay. So depending upon the type of carbonyl group you are treating, you will respectively prepare given alcohol compound. Okay. So this is about the addition of Grignard reagent. Next one is addition of alcohols to carbonyl carbon. So when you treat carbonyl carbons with alcohols, aldehydes and ketones undergo two different types of reactions. Aldehydes and ketones undergo two different types of reactions when you treat them with alcohol. So what happens in this case is, when you treat aldehydes with alcohols, RCH double bond O, when you treat aldehydes with alcohols, at first they form an alkoxy halo group, which is called as hemiacetal, which on react with one more molecule equivalent of alcohol to form geminal alkoxy groups, which is called as acetal groups. Now, if we consider carbonyl groups present and are treated with R prime OH, if we consider one alcohol group being treated with carbonyl carbon, they form hemiacetal. which is called as alkoxy groups. Alkoxy alcohol. These are called alkoxy alcohol. This is the alkoxy group. This is the alcohol group. These are called alkoxy alcohol, also known as hemiacetols. These are also known as hemiacetols. This will react with one more molecule of alcohol. They will react with one more molecule of alcohol to form acetols. That is dialkoxy alkyl groups. Dialkoxy alkane groups, which are called acetols. These are called acetols. That is, when you treat aldehydes with alcohols, they react with one molecule of or one equivalent of alcohol to form alkoxy alcohol, which are also called as hemiacetal. Later, these hemiacetal react with one more molecule of alcohol to form acetols. But when you treat ketones with ethylene glycol, when you treat ketones with vicinal alcohols such as like ethylene glycol, what happens here is, in the presence of dry HCl, ketones react with this vicinal ethylene glycol to form a cyclic structure. It forms a cyclic compound of 5-membered ring such as like this: C, R, R, O, CH2, CH2, O, R. This particular compound is called ethylene glycoketol. This compound is called ethylene glycoketol. The reaction here is because of the dry HCl. Dry HCl provides the proton for this particular keto group and breaks the bond of oxygen present here, which protonates the oxygen present here, losing from the formation of water molecule along with this reaction. So therefore, this carbon will be reacting with these two oxygen atoms to form a cyclic structure. So clearly, if you observe in this case, when you treat aldehydes with alcohol, they form hemiacetal, which are later forming acetols. But when you treat ketone with alcohols, they will be forming a cyclic structure, which are called as ethylene glycoketol. Okay, so this is the reaction of alcohol when you treat them with aldehydes or ketones. Now, next is the very important reaction when you treat ammonia and their derivatives with aldehydes and ketones. When you treat ammonia and its derivatives with aldehydes or ketones, they undergo series of reactions which are quite similar to one another. So what happens is, it can be generated in the general reaction. So addition of ammonia and derivatives. Addition of ammonia and derivatives with aldehydes or ketones. So ammonia and their ammonium derivatives are can be written as NH2, Z, where Z can be an hydrogen, an alkyl group, an NH2 group, a phenyl group, a dinitrophenyl group, or a benzene ring. Anything can be possible. Z can be different ways. But first what we do is we'll just write down the reaction for this H2NZ, and then we'll write down the table for Z and the respective values of Z and the product which are formed when you treat the respective H2NZs. So the reaction takes place like this. When you treat C double bond O with H2NZ. So in this reaction what happens is, similar to the attack of nucleophile, the lone pair of electrons present on the nitrogen attacks the carbonyl carbon, which gains a charge on O minus, which takes the proton of hydrogen present in the NH. So leading to the formation of COH, NH and Z. Further, this bond breaks down to form a double bond with carbon, and then it breaks the bond between carbon and oxygen, leading to the formation of hydrazine compounds. Hydrazine or hydrazone compounds. These compounds, these are called hydrozones. These are called hydrozones. Okay. So when you treat ammonia and its derivatives with carbonyl carbon, they will be resulting in the formation of respective hydrozones, where it involves an intermediate compound formed like this, which on further breaks down the hydrogen molecule to form loss of water. So I'll use a molecule of water over here to form respective hydrogen. So this is the reaction of ammonia and ammonium derivatives with aldehydes or ketones. Now let us write down the examples for this particular reaction, where different values of Z like hydrogen, phenyl group, nitro group, NH2 group, OH groups are reacting with this particular compound.